Exactly. Back in the good old days, you know, in Top of the Pops, the cameras were always looking up girls' skirts. What happened to that? They used to have gantries above camera eye level, specifically so the camera could roam up. And that's all gone. And it's wrong.
Are you sure? Are you not just remembering it through rose?
No, sir. As I live and breathe, when Top of the Pops was in black and white, every time the camera went on to the people who were dancing, who were supposedly members of the public, it was uplifting. Okay?
The skirts were a lot shorter then, you've got to remember this.
People knew how to wear skirts back in the good old days.
Particularly women. No, they're trying to have it both ways, aren't they?
I wouldn't bother about it too much, my friend, if I were you. I think you've got much more important things to think about when it comes to wondering about former children's television presenters being on Top of the Pops. Quite frankly, I mean, it shouldn't interest you. What age are you?
37.
It's not healthy that you should care. It's just because the press create the agenda for you. You think, well, I better have an opinion about it, and even if that opinion is one of bewilderment, divest yourself of all opinions about these irrelevant things that are constantly dominating the CFAX agenda, sir.
Right.
That is my heartfelt advice to you. You'll be happier for it.
Okay. I feel more settled now.
It. Just when it comes on next, just shout, "Who cares?"
Oh, no. I can't take that sort of head in the sand attitude.
It isn't a head in the sand attitude. You've got to... You see, you can't think about everything at once. And whilst you're thinking about irrelevant things like this, like Shayla, all right?
Yeah.
You're denying yourself important thoughts.
What, like Mick Robertson albums and stuff
things
like
that are closer to home.
Oh, right.
We must spend more time close to home. There's nothing you can do. Your life's never going to be affected by any of these issues, is it?
No.
No.
You're absolutely right, actually.
I know.
We spend most of our life being assaulted by news from outside.
Absolutely.
Really doesn't have much...
It's terribly...
Direct effect on us, does it?
It makes eunuchs of us all, because we only realise how microscopic each of us are, that we cannot influence these things with anything less feeble than the vote. You know.
Once every 4 years, 5 years.
Next time you find yourself wondering whether the David Shayla thing is good or bad, say stop and start thinking about your mother.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Give her a buzz and...
absolutely.
Send her some flowers or something. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Tommy.
I hope I've helped.
You have indeed.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
God bless you, sir.
Not at all.
Cheerio.
Bye-bye. That's true. It's true. It's a massive conspiracy to stop us thinking about important things, the news. Live on Talksport.
Hiya. Tommy.
Sir.
Right, this full moon business, what everyone's going on about, police stations being full up. Well, do you not think that just because the police stations are full up, there's a full moon? You can't blame that on the full moon. There's no, just because there's a relationship, it doesn't prove the cause.
It does in the eyes of the police.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a bit superstitious, a bit pathetic, if you ask me.
Look, pal, eat steady here. Do you know everything then?
Well, let's put it this way. The full moon is like, if you look out of the window now, it's bright. Now, in summer, there's a lot more crime committed because the sun's out and it's lighter at night time. It's the same with the full moon. There's more thieves out there because it's brighter.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why more people die when there's a full moon than on a normal night, does it?
No, it doesn't explain it. But
no, it doesn't.
No, but it doesn't.
And it doesn't explain why more people are emotionally disturbed around the time of a full moon. Now, this is very difficult to quantify.
I've never seen any statistics apart from word of mouth.
That's what you said at the beginning of the programme. This is one of those concrete, absolutely certain, nailed-on facts which anybody who's got any sensitivity, awareness, powers of analysis or natural perception is fully and utterly convinced of, and yet science is baffled. You, sir, prefer to believe that that we know everything that there is to know, and I think we've only just begun.
No, I'm not superstitious at all. I'll walk on the ladders off. If I spill salt, I'm not bothered about spilling salt.
Look, pal, it's nothing to do with that. You're getting very confused. This is a scientific fact of the human emotion.
Well, you tell me where I can get these facts. Where can I access these facts?
Use your own eyes, talk to people, gain experiences, go and visit an old people's home.
That's not facts, is it? That's just personal experience.
You go and visit an old people's... I hate it when people dismiss eyewitness evidence and say... Oh, shut up.
Sky News.
Oh, all right, let's have the news.
89
And you go away.
3 a.m. Talk Sport. Tommy Boyd on Talk Sport.
Mental images during this piece of music, and they always change. They move, and I'm not getting anything at the moment. Bring it up. Yeah, I'm getting a kind of a cheesy Midlands club band with who was that guy who used to play the guitar? You don't hear about him anymore. What was his name? Dan. Come on, everybody knows his name. He was Bert Whedon. That's the guy. Bert Whedon. I saw Bert Whedon there for a moment. 08700 40 50 60.
He's still highly respected.
He is. Do you believe it's true that they stopped him going round Trafalgar Square and they pulled him over because he was speeding?
I didn't know.
It's a lovely story. I don't believe it, but it's a lovely story. It's a bit like George Best's Where Did It All Go Wrong, George? Sterling Moss tells the story that they pulled him over for speeding round Trafalgar Square at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the young copper pulled him over and got his notebook out and leaned in at the window and said, right, who do you think you are, Sterling Moss? And, of course, he went, yeah. Which it must be nice, if that happens.
Well, there was the similar one for Ayrton Senna.
What was that?
Down the M1 one day, pulled over by the policeman doing just over 100, and tapped on the window and said, excuse me, sunshine, who do you think you are, Nigel Mansell? He looked at him and said, no, sir, Ayrton Senna.
Yeah, Ayrton Senna. 140 50 60 is the telephone number. Line 5. You are live on Talksport. Good morning.
Hello, Tommy.
Hi.
A few months ago, you had this debate between swearing, because you was on the bus and you heard lots of children swearing, and they were doing it on purpose to shock the passengers. Do you remember that?
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Yeah, and you were going on about how we should have this day where all swearing becomes, what's the word?
Decriminalised.
Yeah, decriminalised, where that would take out the sting out of, it would take out the offensiveness.
It would disarm a group of people who seek to cause offence, albeit minor offence. It would take away their weaponry.
Do you still believe that?
Certainly do.
Well, I think that there are some faults with this. Due to the fact that a swear word, it makes you visualize the actual act or the object.
I tend to disagree.
It does.
I strongly disagree.
What do you mean when somebody swears?
I do not think of fornication when I hear the F word.
It might be like a lightning flash.
No, sir. Doesn't happen to me. Maybe it happens to everybody else, but I can honestly say it has never happened to me. I do not have that association with the word.
How about body parts, then?
Not really, no.
No?
No, sir.
When somebody says a body part, it doesn't flash in.
No, actually, it does not at all. No. Because I do not call making love the F word. I do not call anybody's body parts those swear words.
No, but you would still visualize them, though, wouldn't you? Because you would know exactly what they are.
No, because I don't have that association doesn't work for me. My system of nomenclature doesn't work that way. Maybe yours does. Maybe everybody else's does. I don't know.
Because that is the way that the human brain actually works.
But in any case,
it works in images rather than words.
I refer you to Logicus Tractatus, which was Wittgenstein's first work, in which he explored better than anybody has the relationship between words and pictures.
Okay, I'll go on to my second point.
Let me demonstrate, because it's fascinating, because he said Wittgenstein believed originally that all meaning lies in words.
Right.
And then he went away and he worked with the Geordies. He went up north and he worked at Newcastle Infirmary for 6 years. And whilst he was amongst the Geordies, he completely changed his philosophy. And he came back to Cambridge and he wrote his second pamphlet, which said, I was wrong, it's not words, it's sentences. All meaning is in sentences, and that we think in sentences. And the power of the sentence is everything, not the power of the individual word. And when you think about it, if a swear word is located within a sentence, it has much, much, much more meaning, doesn't it?
Yes.
Than if it's a single word uttered as a solitary expletive.
Right.
Now, he used this example, and it's a good one. He said, I want you to you will develop a mental image when I say the cat is on the mat. You do, don't you?
Uh-huh.
And everybody gets pretty much a similar image in their mind. Now clear your mind. I'll change the sentence slightly, he said. And here it comes. The cat is not on the mat. Now what have you got?
I've got a cat standing up next to a mat.
Okay. You will find that absolutely everybody has a different image for that one. Everybody has more or less the same image for the first one. A minor change to that sentence. The tiniest change. In terms of words. And everybody now doesn't communicate. Are you with me? Do you see my point?
Yes, I see your point.
Fantastic.
But I'll go on to the next point to do with the same subject. Okay. Let's just suppose we have a day that would decriminalise or disarm the offenders. Okay, you would have to go through the whole dictionary of swear words or offensive words in order to make this work. You can't just target a few swear words, which some find as offensive. You would have to go through the whole gender, races...
No, it's much simpler than that. Come on, all you say is that bad language isn't offensive.
But that doesn't excuse it, because for those people who are decent enough not to use those words... No,
these are all...
you are imposing
These are all artificial creations. Your concept of decency saddens me.
Well, you're...
I know a lot of very decent people who use all the language under the sun. And I know an awful lot of so-called decent people who would never say flipping heck. And they are not decent at all. They are the enemies of the state and of the soul.
But why would you inflict this day on people who dislike swearing, who do have these?
Well, because they're wrong. Images? Because they're wrong. They're victims, and they need a homeopathic cure for their illness, which is to be exposed to a small part of the thing that is making them ill.
And what would this day achieve?
I think that's rather a brilliant way of putting it, you know.
But what would this day achieve?
What? I told you what this day would achieve.
No, it's only one day. It doesn't.
I didn't know. Wait a minute. Can I just say something, pal? You've got this thing in your bonnet about one day. I never said one day. I said forever.
Well, then that goes to prove that you are imposing something offensive upon people who do not wish to be offended. Surely the best...
Look, let me explain to you. Let me explain something to you. There's a little old lady on a bus, right?
Yeah.
And she hears two blokes up the front of the bus, but they keep saying the F word, and they say it quite loud. Part of the reason they're saying it quite loud is because they want to offend her, so she takes offence. Now, right, supposing there are no swear words, they can't offend her. But the fact that there are swear words, there are words which have been quite arbitrarily designated offensive. Quite arbitrarily, all right? Because I can say making love to you until the cows come home.
Yeah.
But the minute I was to substitute a forbidden word for the same concept, then I'm in prison. Now, that's ludicrous. And if you can't see that that's ludicrous, the conversation has to end here. Can you see that that's ludicrous?
Not if that word actually describes an act which somebody finds offensive. It is the description that makes it offensive.
No, go on, do a bit of work on this, because what you've got is somebody who is stuck with the world as it is. Now, is it that wonderful?
Well, I think that the best suggestion is to ostracize these people into showing them that they are doing a wrong act, rather than have us all...
Don't be so fascist. Don't be so fascist. What they're doing is not wrong at all.
You're the one that's being fascist by...
No, I'm not. You don't understand so many things.
That's fascist.
I don't think you... No, it isn't fascist.
Yes, it is, because...
No, you're making rules. That's fascism. I'm getting rid of rules.
Which is offensive.
I'm an anarchist. I'm not a fascist. You're hopeless. You haven't got anything right. You've been on the radio for 9 minutes and you haven't got one thing right. Go on, what's 2 and 2?
4.
Okay, well, at least you leave us on a high note by comparison to the rest of your contributions. 08700 40 50 60 is the telephone number.
I'm speaking to, please.
My name's Tom.
Tom. How come you keep getting the sack out of all these jobs? Every time I hear you, you're on a different radio.
I know.
Who keeps sacking you?
Well, it's extraordinary. I've had more jobs in broadcasting than anybody.
You haven't, you, Tom?
But I've also been fired more often than anybody. I have no idea, mate. I have no idea. I'm the nicest guy. Okay. Everybody loves me. I've never worked anywhere where everybody didn't say, oh, good, here comes Tom.
Yeah.
And then the boss comes in one day, puts his head around the door, and he goes, clear off.
Why?
I have no idea. I have no idea why I was fired from here.
Thomas, please.
Nobody told me. I have no idea why I was fired from the last place. I have no idea why I was fired from the place before that. I've only walked out of one place in my life.
You ain't a bad bloke, are you?
No, it's beyond me. It's beyond me.
Beyond me as well. I don't see why you keep getting the sack all the time.
It's beyond me. There you go.
Well, I hope you
No.
keep this job anyway.
Well,
Because you ain't too bad.
I'm not that bad, am I?
No, you ain't, Tom.
There's worse.
It's a lot worse.
It's nice to talk to you.
Could be Mike Dickens.
He's a lovely man. There we go. Let's go to line 1, because line 1 is always a bit of a fruit loop, and with a full moon, who knows what we'll get when we say, good morning, line 1, you're live on Talksport.
Tommy, you've got the sack. I'm sorry, mate. Your time's up. It's over.
Thanks very much. Can I just clear out my locker?
All right.
Mind you, I've never had a locker. I've never had a desk. These days, I do not bother to get a pigeonhole.
Well, he didn't even give you a locker.
No, I've never had a locker. I've never had a desk. I won't have a desk.
Have you got a staff room?
No. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never been on staff.
Or is that place just too big to
Have God will travel.
Is it like that then?
I'm a hobo. I'm an itinerant. I can play the harmonica. That's very hobo-ish, isn't it?
I suppose so. Have you got a caravan?
No, I would love to be one of those hobos, quite well-dressed hobos, that you get on those huge American cattle trains that go right across, across America. And they run alongside when the trains are going very slowly, and they jump on and they never lose a leg.
I bet I see of them there.
As far as we know. Legend has it that the New York Metro is full of the corpses of drunks who've gone down there to get out of the elements and then woken up in the middle of the night bursting for a pee and gone, and only wee-weed on the live line, and poof, that's them gone. Legend has it. That's nowhere to go, is it? Isn't it a great show? What's your favourite moment from Frasier?
Oh, no, I don't know if I'm that much of an anorak, really.
There's a great one. There's one of the great all-time sitcom lines, okay?
Is there?
Yeah, it's where Frasier is having an affair with the station boss.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's discussing it at home with Daphne and with Martin. And Niles, and Daphne says to him something. He goes on about the fact that men sometimes, women. No, that's it. Daphne says women sometimes use sex to get what they want.
Yeah.
All right, and as he's going out the door in a huff, she says, "Don't men sometimes use sex to get what they want?" And he turns, framed in the door with his mac on. And he goes with exasperation, "How can men use sex to get what we want? Sex is what we want."
Yeah, I get it.
It's a great line.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a cracking line.
That's right. But he didn't write it, did he?
No, I don't know who does. It's very funny.
But it'll go along with your record then, by the sounds of it, won't it?
Which is what?
For getting sacked.
Oh, Christ, getting sacked. Yeah.
That's right. I thought you were going to
26 times. The best sacking I ever had was when I got sacked in mistake for somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How could they mistake you for somebody else?
Oh, well, it was a dim light. And the boss came up to me and he said, "I don't want to see you here any longer. Get out." So I was changing.
Yeah.
Because it was, I was a dolphin trainer. I was changing and he came in and said, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm changing. You just sacked me." And he went, "Not you, Martin."
So you thought you had been sacked?
Yeah, but I wasn't bothered. That meant I could go down the pub. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm down the
I
pub.
suppose that's quite something, actually, isn't it, to be sacked when it's not even supposed to be
It
you?
was fantastic.
But if you're going to be sacked, you might as well go out on a, you might as well make it your moment, hadn't you?
No, I don't like to
You
do
not
that.
think so?
No.
Just slip out the back.
Oh, just slip out the back, Jack, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, it's
50,
nice.
50 ways to leave your employer.
Yeah, I'd like to be one of those people that had enough, balls to say or stuff your job or something like that.
Oh, I've done that. I have said sod this for a game of soldiers.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's right, because I think you want to feel. I don't know. Rather than being sacked, I did leave a job actually once when I knew they were going to sack me. I knew they were going to sack me, so I thought, right, I'll get in first, and I did.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
That makes you feel
good. Oh, I think the two sweetest words in the English language are "I quit."
Yeah.
Because what you do is you get yourself back.
Yeah, I suppose I did.
Entire.
Kind of.
It's like, the opposite of, what's that terrible operation they do to horses? Geld them.
Oh, yes.
Is
that the same as castration, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right.
It's the opposite of castration, isn't it? It's sewing them back on again.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
I think you can do that.
You can't.
No, of course you can't. I made that bit up.
I thought you...
There was an actor. He was in Gilbert and Sullivan in Plymouth.
Yeah.
And he was fed up with it. He was the lead. I don't know what the play was. And it was his moment, and the cast all turned to him to do his line about three-quarters of the way through, and he was totally fed up. He hated Gilbert and Sullivan. He hated being in Plymouth.
Yeah.
He hated his career. He hated the digs he was in and everything. And he turned to the audience, and he opened his mouth, and he flung his arms wide to do his line, and he looked at the audience, and he just went, "Oh, sod this for a game of soldiers." And he jumped off the stage, walked through the orchestra pit, down the aisle, and out of the theatre, and was never seen again.
Really?
Isn't that the way to do it?
That's the way to do it.
Isn't that the way to do it?
That's the way to go.
Eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what I'll do next, instead of waiting for somebody else to, I'll just take the old headphones off, and I'll go, "Sod this for a game of soldiers."
Yeah. Right, well, people do that, but they don't actually go anywhere. And they leave somebody on the radio, because you can't have silence on the radio, can you? You've got to have somebody speaking, and if it's not you, your engineer or producer has to come in, and so you can't just walk out, because your boss will go bananas. Yeah, in fact, it's no use just leaving me here chattering away either, because as soon as I stop, you'd have to jump in after 30 seconds, because people will think there's nobody on the radio. Still, this is my time. If I'm still on air, this is my moment of fame. So what could I say that's really really great, really important, that somebody will remember me for? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And I don't know the rules of broadcasting, so I probably swear and you cut me off. So that would be the way to go, wouldn't it, really? That would be the way to go. So how about if I say, "It takes two to screw"? Am I dropped? It's gone quiet. Tommy, don't leave me. Who's your engineer guy that was talking a minute ago? This is just... Oh.
This is Martin Reeves.
Yes. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
Are you filling in?
Yes.
Yes. Did I get cut off for saying that?
Who are you?
Who am I? My name's Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Martin.
Well, we'll go on and take another call. Thank you, Lisa, for your call. Tommy is temporarily not with us, so we'll say, "Oh, I can't keep this up. This is ludicrous." Lesser form of radio. Nice one, Lisa. Enjoyed it. Thank you for your call. Let's go live to line 5 and say, "Good morning. You're live on Talksport. What ho?" Now, you see, that's the point. You can guess what he said, but he wants to talk about swearing, so we couldn't broadcast it, which is ludicrous. Ludicrous that we can't broadcast this simple, fine word. There's only 2 words now that are left that are completely and utterly non-broadcastable. One of them I do have a slight problem with, but that's my problem. I shouldn't. It's just a word. It's a sound. That it is so ugly to me is my problem. But it is. And I would like these swear words to be decriminalised so that then people whose only weaponry... We give people a stiletto blade, an axe. We give them a gun. We say, "Here, you horrible person, have this weapon with which to damage me." It is a word. And they go, "Woo!" So all I have to do is walk down the high street and in a fairly loud voice say to the man next to me, "Diddly diddly dur," and then the F word, the F word. And I upset people. Well, I'll do that then. All we have to do is change things by saying that, "Well, that word's fine. Who cares? So what? Say it. Go ahead, say it as often as you like. It's no more damaging to us than if you were to say daffodils, daffodils, daffodils. And that doesn't hurt. And they wouldn't then go and do something more harmful. They couldn't. Otherwise, they'd be doing that anyway. These are feeble hooligans whose sole act of vandalism is a sound, an artificial sound which we have created. It's no more writ in stone that the F word is a crime, that the F word causes distress to certain people who hear it, than the fact that we have invented a word for the colour blue. That is not blue. Blue is a word which we have chosen to refer... Well, if you go to a good hairdresser's, and I pay £27 a time to have my hair cut, mind you, it's a beautiful haircut. I've heard it a million times. I bet I know more about it than you do. I would never trust you. I wouldn't trust you to make me a slice of toast.
Oh, my God, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know more than me.
I do know more than you about anything. All right, name a subject, apart from, of course, your immediate family. You're probably just ahead of me there.
Yes.
You name a subject, and I will tell you more about it than you know.
Okay, let's talk about geography.
Okay, go. Off you go. What's good at geography?
Okay, can you name me the 3 layers of the atmosphere?
The 3 layers of the atmosphere?
Yes.
Of course I can't. That's not geography.
What is that?
I don't know. It's not geography, is it? Geography's down on the ground. No, it isn't.
No,
Geography's down on the ground. When you get up in the air, that's
no. What is it?
Astronomy.
No, not
yes,
it is.
Because
listen,
look, if you have to look up, look, no, you listen, my friend. If you look down, that's geography, right? Look down.
No.
No, yes. No, don't call me my friend like that, pal. Look down, that's geography. I'm not confusing the issue.
Of course you are.
I'm not confusing the issue.
And you know you can't beat me. You know, geography is to do with the world. It's not just the surface.
No, I'm sorry.
That's called geology.
No.
Let me correct you. That's geology.
Right, so what you're saying is that if you go below the surface of the Earth, that's no longer geography.
Well, it could be, but study... No, but you said the whole... I'm saying the Earth is the study of geography, and you're saying
the atmosphere,
it's just below that.
The atmosphere is not on the geography syllabus.
No,
if it is,
the issue,
you obviously went to a comprehensive, didn't you?
Oh, my God.
No, you did, didn't you?
I'll
tell you why, because all comprehensive geography teachers are thoroughly second-rate and too modern for their own good.
Well, you might have went to a private grammar school.
I certainly did.
Well, maybe your family could afford it. My family couldn't.
Of course they could. They made sacrifices. They loved me.
Well, that's good for you, innit?
Thank you. You're very kind.
No, listen. You said you can name any subject.
No, I thought you were going to drone on about another conspiracy theory that everybody's heard.
No, you put up a challenge, and you're just bowing down to me. You put up a challenge. Now you give me a subject, and we both talk about it.
I'll give you a subject then. All right. Did you know the latest conspiracy theory is that Tony Blair is the illegitimate son of President John Kennedy, who made a visit to this country in 1953, and it is rumoured had a brief and wonderful romantic affair with a woman, an English woman, and promised to look after and help her when she wrote to him some 6 months later to say that she was with child. And he said that he would ensure that the child, who of course would inherit the Kennedy family's great gifts for leadership and politics, and he promised that he would ensure that that child received the best education and every start in life to enable him to fulfill the British version of the American Kennedy dream. Now, I understand there is documentary evidence which points to this being true, and I like it.
So what part of your body are you talking out of?
You see, if he hasn't read it in Sport First, it ain't a conspiracy theory. Not Sport First. What's the other one where the woman's always bending down over a coffee table? Sunday Sport, that's the one. How do they get away with that on the newspaper shelves? Oh, and the picture of the fat woman on yesterday's edition. Did you see it, Robin?
Sorry, Tom, I didn't have my microphone.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm afraid we don't get the sport here, unfortunately.
Tommy, I just don't know. I really just don't know. I like that email. I'm going to have that tattooed across my breast. I don't know, because I don't know. Do you know, Ash?
No, I really just don't know.
I just don't know. I'm proud sometimes not to have an opinion. I go, I don't know.
You never will know.
No, I don't know. I don't know anything. I couldn't prove anything to you, Ash. I couldn't prove that I exist.
Couldn't you?
Not to you.
Why?
How could I?
Because you're there.
No, it's not good enough. You could be dreaming me. You know that's true.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, nothing can be proven.
Exactly my point.
We could be living in a cardboard box.
We could be sheep dreaming that we're human beings.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I had a dream last night. It was the worst dream I've ever had. Do you know what I dreamt?
What happened?
I dreamt that the Tesco's man turned up with our Tesco's order and delivered it. And that was all that happened.
Really?
And normally there's at least one woman strangely dressed.
What a dream.
It was terrible.
Why?
Well, because I think I'm getting boring if I have dreams like that. The Tesco's man turned up, rang the doorbell.
You might have been hungry.
08700 40 50 60. Email the show by going to talksport.net. We're talking bollocks. There are 3 English fans dead by the knives of Turkish fans. There's one in intensive care now. Where was UEFA then? Clearly you are not the sort to stand and fight for democracy. There, look at the mentality of this. Here's somebody who's saying that it's a question of fighting. All right? He's somebody who is saying that we have to fight, right? For what? Fight for peace, isn't it? How can you compare our war heroes with hooligans? How did you get your job? There, you see, there's the bottom line. The sad man's jealous.
Yeah.
Peevish. Poor stuff. Very poor stuff. Peevish. But if you came round here, I wouldn't fight you. I would embrace you. Or your mistress. Who was it said that? Somebody or other. Let me go. You did a show in which you devoted an hour to the suggestion that your wife was having an affair. I just wanted to know what the outcome of that was, because we care about you, Tommy, and you were in tears and stuff. Or was it just a wind-up? Well, I certainly wouldn't engage in a wind-up about anything as serious as that, I can assure you. But the whole thing has been resolved intelligently, with care, concern, consideration, and love, above all. Martin Potton from East Ham emails, and this is the last of the emails for a moment. Whilst not condoning the violence of English fans, where were UEFA when this is a constant mantra, this. Where were UEFA when 2 Leeds fans were murdered in Turkey? Where were they? What does that mean? We've had it twice now from saying, where were they? Where were they? They were no doubt as distraught as anybody else who didn't know those poor men and their families. They were just as distraught, in other words, as you were, Martin Potton, and just as distraught as I was. Okay? That's how distraught they were. What's to be done about it? On the basis of one incident, nothing can be done. But what it does is it raises your perception, because you have to look for consistent patterns. And if it becomes a consistent pattern, then clearly there is something that you have to act against. If there isn't a consistent pattern between violence that happens when English fans are involved following English clubs and the English national team, if there isn't a pattern there, a pattern which appears to be developing again, not where it was 10 years ago, but getting back towards that. If there isn't a pattern there that's been happening over the last 25 years, then frankly, I don't know where there is a social pattern. And that's what UEFA are acting on. If knives are used consistently by people in Turkey, whether they're attached to football clubs or not, against visiting people who are there to watch football, if that becomes a pattern, then UEFA will act. You know that's true. But there are 39 Italian fans who are dead. 39 Italian fans who are dead and who died in a stadium where a match is going to take place in a few days' time between England and Italy, the 2 nations who were involved when that match took place. And that has to be high in the sensitivities of all concerned. There won't be the same ticketing chaos that there was that was partly responsible for what happened at the dreadful old tumble-down Heysel Stadium 10 years ago. Those factors will have been taken into account. But if shares are being thrown and chants are being made and invitations to get involved in punching and kicking are being issued by bunches, whole big bunches, collections, gangs, gatherings, crowds of English fans, and it becomes a consistent pattern, then UEFA have decided that they're going to do something about it. Where were UEFA when those 2 fans were stabbed? Come on. 08700 40 50 60. No, I don't think you've missed anything. What's important is the weight that you give to various aspects of the things that you identify and notice correctly. And that's really all that opinions are. We all give different weight to different things that we notice. And then one person says one thing about something and one person says another thing about something, even though they've got the same amount of information to go on. 08700 40 50 60 and at random.
Because then you'd end up with ones with nothing on, or...
Well, some of them are rubbish, actually. Yeah. So, not many, but some of them are rubbish, and so... for example, Simon, I'm a gay young man and I would like you to make love to me anyway.
No, that's a good point.
That's a very good point.
That's not a bad one, that's a very good one.
Do you know, I've never had a gay relationship or a gay experience, and I'm just wondering whether...
You?
No. I'm just wondering whether, if I'm going to go to my grave having had a completely fulfilled life, should I have a gay experience just once, just so that I've had one? Well, it's a maybe, isn't it? It's not a yes or a no. It is a maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean by a gay experience?
Well, you know, just gay. a gay experience.
Dance with a man.
No, I've danced with a man. I've been kissed on the lips twice
Well,
by a man.
I mean, you know what they get up to. Would you like that then?
I don't think I probably would, but you don't know until you've tried it. It's the same with horseradish sauce.
You do know that, like, that you might not. You would do know.
Well, I think the worry would be that if you found it quite good fun, really, and then you thought to yourself, oh, blimey.
There might be an aspect, of course, that you never thought of.
Exactly. So is it worth risking it? Would you risk it?
No. Because I know my bread is firmly buttered on the one side. Thickly buttered.
I know, but it's something that you could do that would be different, and it would
I'm
increase
not
your
homophobic or
I'm not. No, of course you're not. You're very.
If it makes you happy, I'll tell everyone I'm gay.
It's tricky, isn't it? If someone says, "Are you gay?" and you go, "No," in a sense, you're being homophobic. As if to say, "How dare you?" But of course, you're not allowed to say "How dare you," so you have to go.
Exactly.
No, as it happens, I'm heterosexual.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of accusations against me, and it used to bother me, and now I just think it's mainly because of James Whale telling everyone that I'm gay.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
I haven't heard him say that.
For the last 4 or 5 years.
I've obviously been...
if you throw enough mud, it sticks.
Yeah.
But I don't care, man.
No.
Because it's very cool to
I'll
be...
tell you what there is a lot of nowadays
Yeah.
for men. It's very sexy for men to be JGE.
What's that, man?
Ah. You see, you're JGE. I'm JGE.
Yeah.
JGE. You know the Naked Chef, Jamie, what's his name?
Yeah, I know.
He's JGE.
He's never naked.
No, he's not. I don't want the image of him naked anyway. I don't want to know. I hate naked men.
Yeah.
Anyway, JGE is just gay enough. Just gay enough means that if you saw a woman that you know and she'd had her hair cut, you'd say to her, "I like your haircut."
Yeah.
And I think the way they've cut it, layered like that at the sides, is really nice with the shape of your face. A JGE man could say that.
Yeah.
And you could say that, couldn't you? Because you.
Yeah.
A JGE man would know how
I'm
to.
not saying that I can't talk like a woman.
No.
But.
Yeah. A JGE man would know how to roast vegetables.
Exactly. I mean, I pride myself in being able to cook and do woman's things if need be. Like, you know, I can sew on buttons and hoover. If there isn't a woman around, I can cope fine.
Exactly. If there isn't a woman around to hoover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
you know, I can do everything a woman can, mostly.
Nikki Hill has emailed Tommy. Please tell me, are you the son of Salamander? I don't know what that means.
No.
I've no idea. Talksport. Hello, line 5.
Hello.
Hello.
You're the only civilized country in Western Europe at the moment that people feel they have to use water cannons to control you. That might be a problem.
Yeah, you're mad, you are. Go away.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's what you have to do.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no other country.
Yeah, you're just a prejudiced little Scot.
No, I'm not.
And yeah, you are. And I've talked to you before, and I don't respect your views.
You're the only country.
I don't think you're bright. I don't think you're intelligent. I don't think
Europe.
you're perceptive. I don't think you're kind. I don't think you're a credit to your nation. I don't think you're a credit to your species. Quite frankly, I've talked to you before. I know exactly who you are, and so do you. And you've got a problem. And I've told you to go and see a doctor before about it, and you obviously haven't.
Well, okay. But that doesn't... Whatever you
I'm going to beg you to do something, and that is never to phone this show again.
Whatever you think...
Why do you keep phoning this show? Why do you keep phoning me with what is usually a rather acidic little tirade? Why do you do that? What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it? I'm asking you a question. What do you get out of it? Can you answer it?
Yeah, yes, I can, yeah, if you'll allow, yeah.
Well, I don't think you're going
your
to.
acidic little tirade is then way off the mark. It's your country that has now been threatened to be thrown out of a European...
You see, you can't answer the question, can you? I've asked you a simple question. The reason I want you... the reason I want you never to phone again is because you can't have a conversation. I ask you a question, you don't even begin to answer. You ask me a question, I'll show you how it works. Ask me a question.
Okay, why is it that England are now being threatened to be eliminated from the second biggest major soccer tournament in the world?
I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question. You listening?
I am.
Have you been listening from the start of the show?
I've been listening from the last time I asked the question. I thought you were going to answer the question.
I am answering the question. I'm asking if you've been listening from the start of the show. That's not difficult, is it? Have you been listening from the start?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Right, well, the question's been answered. You've asked a question that's already been answered.
That's right. So
You asked a question that's already been answered. Are you going to do I have to say it again? I'll say it again because obviously you're very slow on the uptake. Shall I say it again? Would you like to hear it?
Yes, but before I do hear it, could I just thank you for bringing me up to speed? And I really mean that. God, I actually feel honoured. But please carry on.
No.
Yes.
No, I've had enough of you again already. Terrible man. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. Another Scot. I just see things. Being Scottish, I understand Scots, and I know there are an awful lot of Scottish people who are embarrassed by the slightly distorted percentage of Scots who come to this switchboard when I'm on with their chips on their shoulders, and I know that my people are not like that, generally speaking. However, they throw down the gauntlet. The gauntlet is happily picked up. And one day, one of them will give me a run for my money. Well, of course not. What's sad is that they think they might. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. We'll have a quick word with line 3.
Hi.
Hello, line 3. Who's this?
Hi, my name's Shelley.
Hello, Shelley.
Hi, I'm calling from Doncaster. I'm just having a bet with my husband. It's nothing to do with football, so we'll change the subject.
Marvellous.
Did you used to do Wide Awake Club?
Yeah, I did that TV show.
Oh, excellent. It's just that we were on about... I remember we used to be on about making, like, the duvets and things. And we used to do this thing called sheets, pillows and duvets. And that's how I learned to do it when I was a child. We just had a bet. He reckons you did something called Saturday Showtime. I've never heard of it
Yeah,
before.
no, I did the Saturday show as well.
You did the Saturday show as well? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's basically all I found for you.
Cool. That's nice of you to ring.
No problem.
I hope you've won some money.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Cheers, Shelley.
Okay, bye.
Nice.
The Saturday show, was that before Wide Awake?
Yes, it was, yes. The Saturday show was myself and Isla Sinclair. It was originally Big Daddy's Saturday show, but Big Daddy the wrestler dropped out with 2 weeks to go for reasons that were never explained, and they were all up in the bar trying to work out who the hell could present this load of old tosh, and I happened to be there drinking, and so they came across and asked me. I was only because I was the only presenter in the bar
Really?
at ITV.
That's good, isn't it?
And I did it for 2 years with Isla Sinclair, who's wonderful, mad as a fish.
Is she?
Well, in the nicest possible way.
Mad as a fish.
We used to joke that if she married Brian Ferry and got divorced and married Barry White, the pop star,
Yeah.
she'd be Isla White Ferry.
No, because she wouldn't take the name.
I think it's
He's planted rice in the paddy fields of Thailand. He's seen the sunrise from the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. He's meditated within the ancient walls of Machu Picchu. He's got a Renault Turbo Sport and a TVR. He's got a huge bank balance. He could go out with any woman in the country. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a close personal friend of his family. He's been invited to the Prime Minister's house for drinks. He's the closest thing on earth to the angel Gabriel. He's Tommy Boyd.
Tell you what I saw yesterday? My son saw it. We were driving along. We saw a ferret in the road. Fantastic.
Dangerous things.
I don't know. He was just up on his haunches, looking very alert, looking like a very small ginger otter.
Otters are making a comeback as well.
Fantastic.
They're making a big comeback.
Isn't the world a wonderful place?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it all technicolor and furry? Thank you, Ash. 08700 40 50 60. Let's take some more calls live at random. We'll
Big up, Benty. It was absolutely brilliant, man. Yeah?
Yes, I just had a distracting email just come through. It's
Yeah.
from the United States of America, although it doesn't say where, and it's signed DMX, and it says, "You look like Rod Hull." And that's really worrying because two things. One, you don't want to look like Rod Hull.
Yeah.
Although I think he died magnificently, dear Rod.
Yeah. But did he have emu with him?
What, when he went up the ladder to try and fix the aerial
I
for
know
an
this
England
is really
game?
bad, but I imagined him falling off the roof with emu under his arm.
You shouldn't laugh, but I've met Rod a few times. I got into trouble once because I introduced an episode of Rod Hull and Emu, which was called The Great Fakir. F-A-K-I-R, and I introduced it incorrectly.
Oh dear.
Yes, exactly.
Did you see that football player?
No. Which one?
What was his name?
F-U-K-A-L.
Yeah.
It's spelled F-U-K-A-L.
How's it pronounced?
I'm not going to try and pronounce it on the radio.
Why? There's nothing wrong. It's his name. There is a couple of different pronunciations.
How have you heard it pronounced, Ash?
Foucault.
Yes.
But it could be.
Yes?
Well, it could be, couldn't it?
Well, I know. There's also a player
But they
there
won't say it that
But
way.
there's also a player there whose name is spelled Q-U-I-N.
Well, remember the German player,
Yeah.
K-U-N-T...
That's pronounced Kunz.
Kunz.
No, you have to... Kunz.
In the Skinner and Baddiel video, remember they all had that on. I thought that was disgusting.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.